Yeah,
That's
it is
all it's
super
about.
important to define your priorities like that. And that's another thing I would go back and tell my younger self. Define your priorities and set some goals and set lofty goals. Like that's a lofty goal. Be a world champion in your sport, right? And that's one of those things that the average person thinks that's not attainable, whatever, that's a pipe dream. Set lofty goals. When I started competing, I told myself, well, I just did it for the money. Like I just needed, in a great twist of irony, I started fighting professionally to pay medical bills because healthcare is ridiculous in America, and couldn't afford it, and I had medical bills to pay, and I needed an extra $50 every month just to make that minimum payment. And I was working three jobs, and the only way I could think of to make an extra $50 every month was prize fighting. And so I started kickboxing and all that, and then MMA and Muay Thai. And my only goal was survive, don't get injured badly enough where I'm going to compound my medical bills and get that paycheck, and that's it. If I could go back in time, I would tell myself, set some loftier goals. Set a goal to get into the UFC, which I would have laughed at myself for. I would have been like, no, I'm not that guy. I'm not good enough for that. But I would go back in time and tell myself, so what? Set a lofty goal, because you will never ever accomplish anything greater than the goals that you set. So I love the fact that what you brought up about losing. It is super important for us to learn to lose, not to be losers, but to learn to lose, right? So that we're not afraid of it, because that's something that holds competitors back in every sport, the fear of losing. Because fear is a self-fulfilling prophecy. It is. What you are afraid of the most will happen to you. For example, if you're afraid of spiders, you will run into spiders all the time, and they will scare you all the time, and you will live in fear of spiders all the time, right? If you're not afraid of spiders, you won't really notice them. Even if they're crawling on the wall, you won't notice them because they're not a big deal. They don't scare you, right? And if you're afraid of losing, what's going to happen? Oh man, those losses, you know, the, even if you win most of the time, those losses will haunt you, right? But if you're not afraid of it and you focus on the success, that's what you're going to experience most of the time. That's been my experience anyway.
Yeah, yeah, no, but that makes perfect sense, because what you focus on, for extended periods of time, that's what's going to find a way to manifest itself into your life, right? So if
Yeah,
you're afraid of fear, if you're afraid of failure or you're afraid of losing, and that's all you could think about, well, that's going to reflect in the way you perform, on the type of decisions you make, like during that fight or during that match. So confidence is a big thing. It's like you need to, and I think that confidence comes from, I think the best way I would describe how to get that confidence is through clarity.
hmm.
So what does clarity look like to me? Clarity comes from, well, practice, putting in the work, and having been in those uncomfortable situations so many times that you could get out of it. You can handle it. And that comes down to when we're talking about drilling, and drilling certain sequences, and then making it progressively harder each time, and then breaking it up, and then using the whole sequence, and so on and so on. And yeah, I think that if you spend enough time in uncomfortable situations, and you have that confidence, that clarity, that you know exactly what to do when you're in that position, to get out of it, so you're confident, then after that, um, forgot where I was going with this, but I was talking about confidence. I was talking
Yes,
about clarity, confidence, and then yeah. So when you have that confidence afterwards, like, you have to, you got to nurture it, and you have to essentially be very aware of what's going on in your mind, and that's the hardest thing for us as humans, because we have monkey brains. It just goes all over the place. Like, if I tell you right now, Ramsey, whatever you do, don't think of monkeys. And if you don't think of monkeys, I'll give you $1 million.
It's
But don't
too
think of
late,
monkeys.
man. It's too late. I'm remembering this awesome YouTube video I saw once of monkeys doing flying jump kicks and knocking people off of scooters. It was incredible. I can't find it anymore, but it was. I wish I could.